Ladies and gentlemen, it's Blood DK time. Yes, you've been asking for it. A lot of rumours surrounding the Blood DK. It's too slow. We had all these things where it was like, oh, we're going to have to get runes. And they took away a lot of our attacks. Heart Strike is gone. What do we actually press now? All that kind of stuff. I would like to say this is a quick look, but it's going to be a little bit more in depth. A little bit more in depth, because this is one of the, and I really hesitate to use this word considering Blizzard seems to think and has said openly this is working as intended. This is one of the most broken classes I've played in a very, very long time. And I don't use that word lightly. I want you to understand that when I say this class seems broken, I genuinely mean it seems broken and unfair to other tanks and unfair to other tanks. There's a golden rule. I've done several betas. I didn't always do things for the internet, but when I did get access to beta, I had vanilla beta. I didn't get into TBC. Yes, I did. I was in TBC beta and did all that kind of stuff. If someone starts telling you that a certain spec is awesome and amazing, and you start hearing this little bird clicking in your ear all the time, it's like, you've got to try this. It's so good. It's so good. The general rule of thumb is that class has something very wrong with it and it's overpowered in some way. So that is kind of the feeling I'm getting here, but in a much more pronounced sense. So what exactly is wrong with this? I tried to play the Blood DK initially when I first logged on and we got into some dungeons. The dungeons were reactivated on beta. The Blood DK was the first class I played and it felt very weak. Felt very weak. I was playing it in a more classic, say, Mr. Pandaria style of play, just looking to time my death strikes, and I was very, very bored. I have to say that. I was very, very bored, but we'll get into that later. But I felt very weak. I felt like I was being crushed in some occasions. Now, part of that is because of the problems of the Discipline Priest. Discipline Priest seems extremely weak right now, and you feel very uncomfortable as a tank with a Discipline Priest rolling with you. So that had to be bared in mind as well. But I kept hearing, no, 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 give it another try. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. You need to take this talent. You need to take this glyph, and you'll be fine. You need to do this and this, and you'll see what we're talking about. So what is this? What is the thing that we need to check? One is that conversion. Conversion converts runic power into 2% of your maximum health every second. Conversion can actually be maintained 100% of the time. It's actually... If you really try hard, you never have to let conversion fall. If you're doing a boss, conversion will just stay on you. Now, the footage you're seeing in the background, all that healing is not the healer. That is me. And I shit you not. All that healing you are seeing is me. That is all the healing I'm doing to myself. You'll notice on many occasions we were rolling with a Resto Shaman in here that I do not have Earth Shield. I very rarely have Riptide. In fact, the group, and the main theme you will see here is the group constantly near death from random AoE damage, because I would have to say maybe we weren't with a particularly great healer. I don't want to judge. It could be a problem with the Shaman itself. But you will notice that the group is very near death or dead, and I am at 100% health all the time. And there is none of the classic buffs I would expect to see from a Shaman really appearing on me in very consistent manner at all. All that healing is from conversion and from death strike and from rune tap. It's pretty powerful. It's pretty goddamn ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous. To the point where if you are to die in a Blood DK in its current state, you have had to have seriously screwed up. Somebody has to have really done something wrong for you to die. That's how weird and it's almost embarrassing. I ran through these dungeons without a care in the world, and I know with my heart of hearts, without ever being somebody who's mastered the soloing techniques of the DK, such as people like Ragewin, I have absolutely just walked through these dungeons where on my other tanks, could not do that. Could not even come close. I would have to take a moment. I would have to look after my health. I would have to care about what's happening to my character. In here, I didn't care if the party died. I knew I could just solo this dungeon and it was not going to kill me at all. There was no risk of that. It was absolutely insane. This uptime of conversion means that you no longer use Death Coil, essentially. The payoff does not work out in the end. So Blood DKs have had this weird change where they have far less attacking buttons. You have Death Strike, you have Pestilence, which is Pestilence mixed with Blood Boil, so it does have some damage component, and you have Rune Tap. Those are your 3 attacking abilities, guys. That's it. Your 4th, of course, is Death Coil. You no longer have Rune Strike, you have Death Coil. Due to the fact that you want to maintain high runic power just to keep your conversion up because it's insanely powerful, you generally drop Death Coil, only firing them off on very rare occasions. I probably used 4 or 5 maximum throughout the entire dungeon. You literally limit yourself to 3 attacking buttons, and 2 of them have the same resource, and 1 of them has a recharge time. It's so boring! It's so boring! It pains me so much to play a class that people are going to love, I think, because Blizzard has said this is looking pretty powerful, but we don't think we're going to do too much to it. Please do something to it. Was there a problem with Heartstrike? Was there an issue there with that niche little ability that we could do something with? Is there a reason I have to AoE single targets with Pestilence and Blood Boil? Is there a reason I have to do that? Why? Why do I have to do that? I don't understand. I really don't. I genuinely have no idea how this situation has occurred. But the class is super powerful, and the mindset of most WoW players, as you guys will well know, is I don't care how boring it is if it's mega powerful. There was a reason most mages spec'd Arcane despite hating it, because it did lots and lots and lots and lots of damage during Cataclysm. They didn't particularly like it, but hell, I press one button and I kill things and I do the most DPS, so I'm going to play it. It's uncomfortably strong, to the point where overconfidence is a big issue. There are some mobs in these dungeons that have enrages and shockwaves and stuff that can in fact kill you in about 1 or 2 hits. It can happen. And in those situations you're like, what the hell happened? I don't know. Because I'm just used to staying at 100% health pretty much all of the time. It's crazy. So you might think, what happened? What's it like at level 100? Surely this might be a level 92 thing, right, Preacher? Nope. Gets even worse at level 100. And let me explain why. By dropping Death Coil, you obviously don't take advantage of your rune regeneration abilities, okay? Your Runic Empowerment, your Runic Corruption, and your Blood Tap. You generally don't get the benefit of those things using this method of just keeping conversion up. However, your level 100 talents, your Defile, your Syndragos' Breath, they proc those things. So you don't need to use Death Coil. And they're on pretty short cooldowns. I shit you not that once you reach level 100 and you can use those talents in their current build, which is working as intended, I might add, working as intended, they actually activate those rune regenerating abilities for you. So you don't need to use Death Coil, which leads to more runes, which leads to more uptime, leads to an easier time of just pressing Death Strike, and you can choose between Pestilence or Rune Tap. And that's about it. And you're pretty safe. And under that, using cooldowns. It's such a weird situation to be in. I don't want to... What would my feedback be here? What would be my feedback? Bring back Heartstrike at least, so there's something to do. Change this conversion or runic power generation so we can't keep conversion up 100% of the time. There is no way we should be able to keep conversion up 100% of the time. It just makes no sense. It's absolutely moronical to be able to just activate it, and that literally stops me using one of my attacking abilities, and then I can just roll through and stomp things. It is entirely possible that as gear progresses, this will taper off. It's entirely possible that will occur. And that's why Blizzard maybe seems to think this is going to be okay. Blood DKs might be very powerful in the first tier of raiding, and then they will kind of even out after that. That's kind of the message we're getting. It's entirely possible for that to happen. However, that doesn't change the fact that this spec, to me, despite being ultimately powerful and very, very strong, is so boring to play. Absolutely so boring. It's just so slow, unfortunately. It's so slow. Having just these minor choices of either a single target attack, an AoE, or a heal, that's it, is useless to me as a player. I don't care how powerful it is. Many of you will, and that's fine. But my feedback would be, please do something about the gameplay so it's more interesting in some fashion. Please change the rune generation and our abilities so that conversion cannot be up 100% of the time. It should be a cooldown. That's what it should be. It should absolutely be a cooldown. It has no reason to exist in its current state. Change the HUD level 100 talents not to proc our middle tier, so we have to use our death coils to do something. Make us make that choice. If we do want to choose between conversion and death coil, good. That's good gameplay in my mind. That's a choice we're making. Do I want to be doing more damage here? Do I need more death strikes? Is there big attacks coming where death strike is more important? I need my runes here. Or do I just keep up conversion? In its current state, I can do both. I can time my death strikes accordingly. I can also keep conversion up 100% of the time. And if I do get into real trouble, I always have Empower Rune Weapon waiting for me. And therefore, it's kind of a nonsense idea. These choices need to be in the game for me. They have to be there. They've got to be to make the class fun. Because at some point, guys, even if you are loving this power and this strength, you're going to realize you're barely doing anything. And you're just kind of this big lump of shit that won't die. And being a lump of shit that won't die is not interesting to me in the least. And I hope you guys can see why. A mixed bag of things there. It feels broken. They say it's fine. I do not believe it's fine. It feels absolutely crazy in the current state that it's in. It feels absolutely crazy. Alright, guys. That's your Blood DK. A little bit of a downer there, but I don't know. I don't like this overpowered, boring style of play. I really detest it. I know I won't have that view shared by many, but there you go. Alright, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.